Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I've been waiting to do this. We are going to make cherry chocolate pecan ice cream because it's so delicious. I have been wanting to do this for you all for a while. It's summer and there's nothing as refreshing as just a creamy cold ice cream. I am going to be making this with some cherries that my dear friend Leslie gave me for my birthday. And I've been saving them. I halved and pitted some of them and froze some of them. And then I have others that I've turned into a sauce. So in my new attempt at learning how to talk to you guys, this time I've had to film the process and I'm going to speak over it because I think it might go smoother. It's an attempt. You can let me know. But also it was a day that you cannot believe how many people were calling me when you move out to the middle of nowhere and you think, how did this happen? I'm trying to make ice cream. So in order to get the job finished once I started it, I thought, all right, I'm just going to film it all and then I'll walk you through it. And then in the end I'm gonna eat some ice cream and you can taste it with me. So let's get started and sit back and get excited about inspiring yourself to eat some cherry toasted pecan chocolate ice cream. Okay, here we go. Cherries. What we're starting with here
Oh my God.
are beautiful, seasonal, fresh, sweet and tart cherries. And you got to pit them. And you got to be careful about it. These pits keep dentists in business. So you just take the time, split them, get the seed out, separate out the cherry from the pit. Some people wear gloves. I'm kind of hands-on. Some people have cherry pitters. Those are also smart little tools. I'm using a knife, which is one of my favorite tools, and my hands, which is the tools that God gave me. And it works pretty good. Sometimes I forget that I can put the pit in the bowl and the cherry in the other bowl, but eventually you get the hang of it and you get in a rhythm and you just knock out real quickly, getting your pits out of your cherries, and you'll be ready to roll. Here we go. Isn't that fun? Gosh, I tell you, I'm still looking for this button on me where I can move through my day with this kind of speed. All right. Okay, now it's time to toast our pecans. I'm going to turn on my beautiful ray of sunshine here in my kitchen, my buttercream chambers stove, gas. Carefully do everything in the proper process. You want to get that lit and make sure you see it lit, which you can see there. And I am making sure that my temperature is accurate, not too high for nuts. Of course, I'm not very patient, so I kind of push them a little bit. But here you go. Generous amount of pecans, Texas pecans. And I'm going to pop them in the oven, and I'm going to keep an eye on them. I also cook with my nose. So use every part of your body to cook, because you can smell them. And sometimes by the time you smell them, it might be too late. So keep an ear and eye out. Here we go. Next phase, just preparing all the different parts of this project, of this ice cream. And next, I'm going to heat up this incredible pan. I can't wait to tell you more about it. But in this pan, we're going to start with making our cherry sauce. And I have a good amount of some pitted cherries. And I'm going to put them in this pan with about half a cup of sugar, not much. Do not oversweeten your ice cream. If you do, you will taste nothing but sugar, and you will cheat yourself out of these incredible flavors that you only want to enhance with your sugars and other your flavorings. This is the star, is the cherries. So we're putting cherries in this ice cream in different forms. This part of it is going to take these cherries and we're going to cook them down until there is a liqueur. All the juices will be cooked out. And then we're going to reduce those juices till it is an incredible liqueur of goodness. We're going to create a base. We're going to create our custard base, which we're starting with 5 egg yolks and half a cup of sugar. And these eggs come from my chickens. Oh, that's a cat.
What are you doing?
That's Pistol Pete. He's upside down.
What's Pistol Pete?
But he loves me and he's helping.
He loves you.
There he is. He always participates. Next, we're going to take those egg yolks and that sugar, and we are going to whip it. It's going to whip air into the egg yolks. It's magical. We take 2 ingredients and you completely change the properties, or at least their value, because we're going to whip air into these egg yolks and we're going to dissolve the sugar in them. And it takes a while. So you're going to see that the egg yolks are going to turn a beautiful green yellow, and a lot of air is going to come from the air. And this is the beginning of the custard base. I need to hacking every time I see a recipe that says the easy way. I'm sure I wanted to do it. I want to do it the way it is meant to be done. Hot water and soap takes care of a lot of dishes, and you end up with a supposed superior product. You enjoy the process. And at this point, you'll see that this is whipped up almost twice extra of the volume of this one. Now, in our next area, you're going to see these cherries are cooking down. So you can see all of that juice has been released from those cherries, and they're bubbling in a lot of juice. Now you do have to keep an eye on them because you don't want burnt. You don't scorch them. Ah,
You gonna help me make
there's
ice cream?
Pistol Pete. He's
Pistol Pete.
up right now.
Cool.
How can you cook without a cat underfoot? He doesn't know. Now you can see that these cherries are reduced, but there's still a little bit of liquid in there because I know that as it cools, that liquid is going to tighten up. I don't want it to scorch it. So off the heat goes. This has got to be completely chilled down because we're making ice cream. It has to be cold. Cleaned this gorgeous pan, and here comes the other half of our custard. Cream. That's 2 cups of cream. Good heavy cream, good heavy whipping cream, and 1 cup of whole milk going in. And over medium heat, watching constantly and carefully, you are going to heat this up to scalding. And you will, I'm whisking it, you can stir it, but don't let it stick to the bottom of the pan. Don't let your heat be too high. Just let it come to where you're going to see a lot of the steam coming off the surface of this milk and cream mixture, but you do not want it to boil. You're just going to let it get hot. And when I say scalding, it's when you stick your finger in, and if it's too hot for you to keep your little pinky in there, that's scalding. Like you just scalded yourself, and that's hot enough. See? And you can see the steam coming off of here. It heated up, and then you're going to turn the heat off, and it is hot. And I apologize that something happened, and I didn't get to show you how I poured that hot milk into the egg custard mixture, which is done at a very slow rate. We'll be making custard again, but you must be careful because you're going to very carefully dribble that hot cream mixture into that eggs. Very slowly. Once you get it all in, you're going to put that whole mixture of the sugar and the eggs and the cream back into your pan. And we're going to put it over a low heat, and we're going to gently cook that. And I'm going to show you here in just a second that when you first start stirring it, it's very loose. See, it's very liquidy. We're going to be heating this up to where you're going to be sort of cooking what those egg yolks are going to do to thicken this cream. And one of the telltale signs is you take a wooden spoon and you run your finger across the back of this stirring stick, and if it does not leave a solid, steady line all the way through it, without it being too loose, it's not ready. It's got to be thick enough to really hold that line. So I'll show you here in just a little bit. But right now, you really do need to keep your eye on it. Do not let it curdle. Keep the heat down, medium-low, and stir it. And you can see the steam coming off of it. And you can see here that it has thickened up. You can see how it's kind of become a little thicker. Now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to show you when you go through it, you've got a nice solid line, and that's good. It's thick. It will probably continue to cook a little bit, but I'm going to take it off the heat. All right, now I've got custard that's cooling. We've got the cherries that have been reduced into sort of a glaze, and they're chilling. And I'm going to take that off to the side, and I've taken the pecans out of the oven, and we are going to chop up these pecans. Now, I kept them pretty chunky. I didn't want to turn them into a powder. So just carefully eyeballed, breaking up all the big pieces and leaving enough so that you had something to chew on. Like I said, you don't want it to be a grain in there. You want to be able to let that pecan come to alive on its own and speak for itself. So kind of even chunks. That's my preference. And you just kind of keep them even. Here is our custard. It has been cooled down, and I'm adding some of this incredible vanilla bean paste. I'm pretty bold with my vanilla flavoring. It's vanilla custard, so I would say go ahead and make it taste like vanilla custard. And I'm putting in roughly what might be 3 scant teaspoons. It is pretty intense vanilla, but oh, it does create this perfect vanilla base, and it's nice. So since we're using cherries and almond extract are really good complements, and I like putting a touch of this almond extract in. As you can see, not too much. If you pour in too much, you're going to overwhelm everything. This is just about lightly perfuming this custard with this almond, and it's a vanilla custard. So now you've got this base, and this is going to be what we're going to put in the ice cream maker, and just let this turn into ice cream before we add all the other ingredients at the end. Here we're taking the chocolate, and I picked up some 80% I think, and like 70% dark chocolate just at my local grocery store. It was chocolate bars for eating, more for cooking, and they're dark and deep, and I chunk them up. So about the same size as the pecan pieces. You want to complement all the little pebbles that you have in the ice cream. When we had horses, they would woof through their grain. And so in order to slow them down, you could put big kind of rocks in the feed bin, and they'd have to woof their little lips around the rocks and slow them down so that they'd enjoy their food. So think of these as the rocks and the ice cream. You don't want to just woof through everything. You want to have things in chunks where they'll all be about the same and complement, but they'll slow you down enough to appreciate what's in there. I kind of leave some of these measurements to you. How much chocolate do you want in there? How many pecans do you want in there? And I expect you to be making this more than once. And you'll make a note to self, I want more chocolate in my ice cream next time.
Here we go.
I've
put the custard into the ice cream maker.
All said and done.
It's electric. Personally, I think we should all be hand churning ice cream. But you need a whole army of kids to do it. So if you don't have them, use an electric ice cream maker. Here it is. It's going to take, I don't know, tops 30 minutes. Keep an eye on it because it starts out loose, and here in a second you're going to see how it's picked up this creamy, thicker ice cream. Now it's not going to harden, so you have to use your better judgment about when it has become churned into an ice cream. At that point, you're going to add whatever ingredients you have that you want to add in addition. There are my frozen cherry halves. There's the chocolate chunks, pecan chunks, and the cherry jam, basically. In it all went, blending with the perfect custard, the most perfect custard. And I'm going to let the machine mix it for me. It does it fast, it gets it even, and dang, that looks good. So out of the machine into a container that will go into the freezer. And of course, you must taste some. You must be sure that it was good. If you're lucky, you have people with you who will also be your subjects to approve of it. Now I'm going to sit down, and together we are going to taste the fruits of our labor. Okay, so we have ice cream in a bowl, and I always feel cheated when I see other food videos and they don't let me see them eat it, because you need to trust me. So just for you, I'm going to eat some ice cream. And this is a little bowl, and I have to tell you, sometimes you wonder, is it really as good as it looks? I'm about to tell you. God, I wish I could just make you open your mouth and I could put it in there. You wonder about nuts and ice cream sometimes. Do they work? I'm here to tell you it works. I did toast these pecans right up to the edge. And I actually really like that really, really strong toast in there. There's still buttery pecan going on. And we started with this base. When you start with a base of a really good custard and it's creamy and your ingredients that you use are good and pure, it's the canvas that you paint on. So it was a good custard base. Simple. You saw the technique. We'll be doing it again. And then there's the chocolate. And you think, yeah, chocolate and cherries, obviously that's a marriage made in heaven. How's it going to work in ice cream? Is that chocolate, so if you wonder, is that chocolate chunk going to just get too cold? And will that chocolate bloom for you so that you get all the nuance of what a dark chocolate can bring? And I'm going to tell you, yes, it does. It works here.
I think it's because I really like dark chocolate, and so it's strong. So it's a good partner to the cherry, because the cherry's got that tart to it. So yeah, the chocolate works. This is for the cherry. It's like the cherry, because I left some of them in chunks, is like icy. So you kind of have this icy cherry thing going on. And then you got the smooth of the blended cherry that kind of melts through the vanilla. And then you've got the touch and that hint of the almonds, because that complements the cherry. You've got the toasted pecans, which makes it have an earthy note. And then you've got the chocolate. And the chocolate makes you stop and savor the melting of the chocolate with everything together. And you think, this sounds so simple. It's just a cherry chocolate pecan ice cream. But when it all comes together and you sit down and you eat what you made, it's pretty complicated. But what can be complicated about a bowl of ice cream in the summer that feels just so happy? So it's a really good day. And I hope if you have any questions, ask me about any of these techniques. I can certainly, drill down on giving you more specifics. Sorry, I had to rush through stuff. Very good. All right, I love you. And we'll see you next time.